yeah, like I said in the email that was sent out, so that we can have access to it on the YouTube channel. If you've not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so. All right, so yeah, welcome to day one of this webinar. So I'm going to be taking also, it's going to be more of, how will I put it? It's going to be more of hands-on. So I'm going to try to show you, like, not just to tell you, but to show you what I'm talking about, so that you too can have like access to it and all that. So again, I want to be sure that everyone can hear me clear. Um, Everyone can hear me sound and clear. Please let me know in the chat box that you can hear me, and let me know that you can see my screen. I'm sharing my screen presently. Can you all see my screen? Can you guys see my screen? Okay, great. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm glad you can. Um, okay, Chuku, you have your hand up. I don't know. Yeah, so you can unmute yourself. I have unmuted.
Sorry, it was just a mistake.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so yeah, navigating US graduate school slash scholarship application. I'm excited to do this. So I'll be talking about graduate school requirements, how to search for schools, how to build your application tracking system, and how to um, build your CV, right? I'll be showing you a template of my own CV, and yeah, we can actually go from there and see how that works and all that. So, um, so while we're on that, I like to give like a little background of myself. Sorry, that is not Umiport, is Uniport, right? So I had my bachelor's from the University of Port Harcourt. I studied chemistry there, and from there I did like a professional diploma in education, sponsored when I was a Teach for Nigeria fellow. Right now I'm a Teach for Nigeria alum. I was with Teach for Nigeria between 2019 and 2021. Um, yeah, so 2017, my journey has been crazy, right? So immediately after NYC in 2017, I began my master's journey in Unijos that took 5 years. That is like story for another day. That took 5 years to complete, which was almost frustrating. And yeah, so it was while I was waiting for that master's to be completed, that was when I joined Teach for Nigeria. And then 2022, I joined New as manager instructional design. I was almost giving up on my dream of like pursuing a PhD, because I was like, okay, I just need to build my career in edtech. Like I was already a manager, so there's no need to like go for a PhD. I just wanted to like build it and keep moving from company to company, maybe. But God had different plans. Yeah, so presently I'm a teaching and research assistant. I teach like organic chemistry labs to undergraduates, mostly pre-meds, like those in nursing, those looking to go to nursing school, or those in the nursing program. I also teach those looking to go to medical school. The system in America is somewhat different from what we have in Nigeria. You need to do like a foundation program in either biological science, biochemistry, biology, public health also, before you can go to medical school. So I teach organic chemistry to those set of students. Yeah, so right now, a PhD candidate in chemistry, and working towards developing a novel method for the synthesis of carbon substituted cyclopentane and all that. So yeah, you're welcome. Good to have you here. So that's me. So graduate school. what is it? What do you need to get ready? What do you need to get prepared? So the first thing I say that if you've not gotten your transcript, either unofficial or official, then you are literally not yet ready. Okay? If you don't have your transcript, you are not, I don't think you are ready for it to pursue graduate school. So if you're going to take anything from this call, the first thing that you should take is that you need to go get your transcript from your university. Uh, because any school that you're applying to, any program that you're applying to, you have to submit you have to submit a transcript. You have to submit your transcript. So transcript is very, very important. Either official or unofficial transcript. You shouldn't submit an application without a transcript. Yeah, so the next thing that you should you should have is your degree certificate. I know that in Nigeria right now, most universities, when you're graduating, you're getting your certificate. Some still give testimonial and all that. If you have any of those, it's okay. But some school will admit you with either your unofficial transcript or your testimonial, but they require that you have this certificate itself and the official transcript itself before the end of your first year. So either testimonial is fine, but if you can get your certificate, better. So work towards it. So the next thing, your CV, right? We'll be talking about CV shortly. Your CV, you need to have a well-written CV, and I'll be showing you like the CV that got me into graduate school. That's the CV I've been using, and it's been helping me assess opportunities. Yeah, your CV needs to be well written. So the next thing is your statement of purpose, your letter of motivation, uh, or proposal. Some school will ask you for creative writing. In, if you're in the creative, like let's say English or art or something, so they'll ask you for that. But majorly, what most program require is the statement of purpose. So you need to have the statement of purpose. The next thing, recommendation letter. So you need lecturers, professors, right, from your previous program, or at least I recommend my own advice is that get at least two professors or two lecturers, either one that supervises your undergraduate project and then another you've built a relationship with. Get them to provide you recommendation letters. So what I do when I was writing, I was sending them drafts of what I want them to put in my recommendation letter. Some people, because they don't have time. So if you are waiting for them to send you that draft, to do it from scratch, to build it for you, they're never going to send it out. They're never going to send it out. So you need to develop a draft. You need to develop a recommendation letter and send it to them. That will help them. Then GRE, since after COVID, most programs made GRE optional, right? Uh, I didn't have to write GRE before I got into my program, before I got into the PhD in chemistry at University of Nevada. And most schools in America, they are beginning to waive GRE for chemistry programs and all that. Also, I didn't write English, test of English. I, I didn't I didn't have to provide IELTS or 12. If you have those, is good, but most schools are beginning to waive it because there's been like a campaign that, oh, we are Nigerians and we're instructed in English from foundation, like from elementary school up until even university. Official language is English, so we don't. They waive it for us. We're one of the countries that is waived for. Then the skills that you need to have: critical thinking, problem solving. Like you need to so these are things that you show in your statement of purpose, right? These skills are things that you show when you are developing your statement of purpose, because that is any for you to be in a PhD program, they want to see that you can think critically, you can solve problems like with little or no supervision, and um, you can lead yourself. Because, for example, like for me, the past few weeks has been rough, right? Uh, Experiments keep failing. You are doing experiment in the lab and it's failing. So yeah, in the midst of the experiment failing, they expect you that, okay, going through that phase, you are able to come back, motivate yourself, inspire yourself, and get into your work, right? So you don't get to failure help, right? So you need to keep working, put your act together, get yourself working. So yeah, so these are the things that you need to have um, in hand, or you need to have before you can apply for like a program. So it's okay to have a generic statement of purpose. By a generic statement of purpose, I mean a template. So a statement of purpose that you can keep editing. So don't use a statement of purpose for all the programs you'll be applying to. We'll talk about it. For each program, you need to keep tweaking your statement of purpose to fit into the narrative of the program that you are applying for. Okay, it's okay to have a generic one, like to build a generic statement of purpose that you keep editing, to build a generic CV that you keep editing to suit the program you're applying to, but never use one CV or one statement of purpose for all the programs. One thing I want to say is that graduate school application require work and require and it requires smart work, right? If you don't work smartly, you're not going to get what you're looking for. So you need to be willing to work smartly, and to work smartly means also you putting in the effort and the work that is required. You need to put in the work, you need to put in the effort that is required of you. If you don't put in the effort that is required of you, you will not get the opportunity that you are looking for. So it's not something you do haphazardly, because the competition is stiff. In fact, right now in America, there is a lot of like fundings are being cut, right? Most programs like the NSF that funds most science programs, they are stopping their funding. So that does not mean that universities will stop admitting, but the quota of admission will reduce because there is no much funding. So to get in, you need to be competitive, because it's not just Nigerians that are applying. Ghanaians are applying, um, all over the world, right? Asia, there's a lot of Nepalese in my department. There's a lot of like Indians applying. So it's not just you, right? So you need to show that you are competitive, and you need to make your application to stand out. I don't know if that makes sense, right? So I like touching base. I like touching base to make sure that everyone can actually see or can actually hear me. Are we still together? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you see my screen? Okay, great. So I'm glad you can hear me. I'm glad you can see my screen. Um, yeah, so we're gonna move to the next stage, which has to do with So the next thing we want to talk about is how to search for schools, right? So this is where I get like hands-on. So this is where I get hands-on at the moment and all that. Yeah, so how do we search for school? How do you search for your program of interest? So I need you to sit tight. I'm going to be moving, um, I'm going to be moving from this. I'm going to stop sharing and share my other screen so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so how do we search for programs? So the first thing that I tell people, Google is your friend. You can get a lot of access for Google, right? I know that I wanted to use the first person that came into this meeting as like to so that you see what I'm doing. I know okay, Chuku was the first person to come in. Okay, Chuku, I don't know what program of interest. What is your program of interest? Let's use you as our lab rat. Sorry. Yeah,
Okay. My program of interest is soil hydrology.
soil hydrology. Okay. Yeah, so all I just need to do is to come on Google. I believe everyone can see my Google search engine. So to come on Google and say, okay, US universities that of, are you interested in a PhD
Yes, yes.
in soil? Can I say soil engineering?
Okay.
First, okay, let's do soil hydrology first. Now, in fact, Google now has like some Google now has the AI, right, that can even give you like a list, summarize it for you. So last year we didn't even have this when we did this program. So it's giving you a list of universities. So it will give you almost the top universities in America, right? So you see the first list that we see here, the first on the list is the University of California, Davis, UC Davis. This is one of the best school in America, right? There's also University of California, Riverside. So for UC Davis, there's the Hydraulic Science Graduate Group offers MS and PhD degree, which with research options spanning earth, soil, environmental, and agricultural sciences. So you may not be able to find soil hydrology specifically, okay, but you can see programs that are related. Just that when you get to that department or that program, you will now find professors who are doing research in soil hydrology in your program of interest. So there's UC Riverside, there's even my university was listed, University of Nevada, Reno. So there's a whole lot. So you can see even the University of Arizona offer a PhD in hydrology and water resources. Um, North Carolina University, Michigan State University. So, and I think most of these universities are R1, means that they are funded universities, so you can get those opportunities. So let's go to UC Davis. So let's see what UC Davis has. Let me see the list here. So I'll just copy that and go to University of California, Davis, soil hydrology PhD program. So it's actually a group, the hydrologic science group. So this is the hydrologic sciences group, the science graduate group at UC Davis spans departments like, so it's multidisciplinary, right? It spans several departments and they offer MS, PhD degrees, like we saw before, in different fields and in different areas, right? So the programs that are available, I think the different area of specialization is earth surface processes, hydrobiology, hydrochemistry, physical hydrology, water policy and management, and all that. So what I will now look for is academics, right? What is the admission process? Okay. What is the admission process? That is what I'm going to now search for. So prospective students explore graduate program and identify blah blah blah. The first step is to visit UC Davis of Graduate School website, which provides the official steps, right? So the step two is using the HCLG website. Applicants learn about faculty who may have common research interests. So now they're not telling you that, okay, yeah, the first step is to go to explore programs. And the second step is to look for faculty whose research interests align with your own research interest, right? So that is the next step of the program. So now look at what I was telling you guys. GROE requirement, GROE test result will no longer be required from HSCG applicants. I don't know. Okay, Chike, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. So that is what that's what they're saying, right? So you now have, for example, UC Davis, right? So UC Davis, like I said, is one of the top school. You need to be competitive and up your strong application. So what I advise is, okay, now you are searching for schools. The first thing to note is this application tracking system, right? I like encouraging students to use this. Have an application tracking system where you are keeping track of all the school that you are searching for. For example, we have searched for University of California, Davis. I will come here and I'll put University of California, Davis as one of the schools. And then we'll go and check what is their requirement. I don't know if they have their requirements, but I see that they have funding here. Okay. Um, Several sources of financial and aid originating from the university, colleges, department, and graduate group are available for new and continuing students. So there are several sources. International students are advised to consult services for international students and scholars regarding immigration status and employment, blah, blah, blah. Departments use student support primarily for teaching assistants and secondarily for administrative work. Teaching related student support for qualified students is on a 1/4 basis and comes in the form of either a teaching assistant that pay a stipend, right? So they are giving you the options. So there are different opportunities in that program that can fund your program. So on my application tracking sheet, I would say I think I have funding. So what funding opportunities? There's hope for funding, right? So I'll put this Y here means yes. Don't worry, I'm going to share this tracking sheet with you guys so you guys can download it and use it to build your own, right? So, and also what I will also do is to copy the link, right, of these guys, especially this admission process. I'm going to copy the link and I'm going to put it on um, I'm going to put it on the application tracking sheet. Once I have that link there, then you check if they have deadline, right? If they have deadline for the application. I'm not seeing deadline here. In accordance with Council of Graduate Resolution described by admitted. Yeah, so they have deadline. The general deadline for to apply for HSCG admission for the following fall, like if you are looking at 2020, what year are we? 2025. If we are looking at 2026 fall, they are saying that the deadline that you need to apply is by the 1st of May, 1st of May 2026, right? But I advise people apply early because what these guys do is that they consider application on a term by, like, for example, if you apply, I think the portal opens from, let's say, September, October for next year, August, right? So if the portal opens by September, October, the people that apply between September and December, they will consider their admission, their application. And once they get the required number of students, those are the people that they will give funding to. They will give funding to those guys, and other guys, they will just admit you without funding, and you'll be the one looking for where to get funding. So this thing is that UC Davis Fellowship and Scholarship must be complete and received by January 5. In fact, you see it here. So before December, submit your application, though they will tell you they have till like May. But if you need to be considered for scholarship, you should submit your application before December and all that. So yeah, so I'll just put January 5 as the deadline for submission. Then the next thing that you can look for is email. Look at the people in the department, look at the faculty, right? What professors does their research interest align with yours? Um, so you're going to look through, for example, this guy, his research is in, so we're going to look at his website and see what he does. He's a geochemist, so he may not he may not really be the best bet for you. But another thing is that you can do is to go look at his Google Scholar and look at his research work on Google Scholar. Okay, Chuku, what is your background? Is it in geology?
No, soil science. But currently, I'm doing my master's degree in ecosystem ecology. So I am focusing on groundwater.
Okay. Yeah, so you can get programs. So like your case is unique because you can move to different areas, right? So you
Yes,
can either
yes,
get something in agriculture, that's one thing about the US. So you can get something in agriculture, something in geology, so like different programs. So it's just for you to search wide and all that because your stuff like cut across different programs. So that is one beautiful thing about it. So yeah, um, you keep checking about the people in the department. You look at different professors and you go to their websites, you read about their research. Let's say, for example, this lady, I don't know what her research is, but we could check. Um, but my time. Yeah, we could check and you look at their publication and see what they are doing and what they are up for. And so explore people's website. So groundwater has become, so if you see, I think she does something in related to groundwater. This
yes.
may further interest you, right? So people like that, I'll just go and copy their email. So copy email address and pen them down as prospective people to send like cold emails to. Okay. So pen them down as prospective people to send cold emails to. So by the time you develop this tracking sheet, have at least 10 universities that okay you have mapped out. So the first 2 months or after this webinar, let's say between July and August, while you are waiting for application to begin, start developing your tracking sheet. Start
researching universities, so that by the end of August, you have up to 10 universities that you are looking at. Okay, and say, okay, I can apply to this. Then you can even start sieving, oh, which university is willing to give me application fee waiver, because that is another thing. You don't have all the dollars to spend on application fees, right? So you can check for those universities that are willing to give you application fee waiver. You can start sending out cold emails to professors. Have at least 20 professors that you send out cold emails to. We'll talk about cold emails like in the other session. So at the end of the day, you may have one professor telling you, oh, apply, I'm in need of students. So that is like 20-30% that you are going to get into that school, depending on how strong your other application materials are, right? So you can now say, okay, if that university is, for instance, University of California, Davis, and they have application fee, you can then go ahead and pay the application fee, right? Because a professor has given you like assurance for you to apply. So your best bets, and for everyone, our best bets in this period is cold emails. Cold emails. So I believe we'll be talking about that. So I've just covered uh, um, application tracking sheet, like how to, you look out for the schools, you look out for the programs that the school offer, and then see how you can build this application tracking sheet. Another way to search for school or to search for program is by using Google Scholar. I think I opened something here. Is by using Google Scholar. For example, you're interested in, let's say someone is here, I think there's someone here interested in home science, education, or something. So you go on Google Scholar, just type on Google Scholar, and you can just, whatever program you're interested in, search for that program, and you will see different professors that are doing research, or who have done research in the field of Google Scholar. And most likely you will see a professor in the US, or even in Canada, or even in the UK. Tomorrow we'll be talking about how to even access scholarship in the UK, that is doing research in that area, right? So like here I see this guy, Christopher Lubienski, he's doing research in the field of home science. So you can look through his publication and see, read people's publication. It gives you idea of what their research is all about. Then by the time I get this professor's name, I can then go search for him at Indiana University. Open a different website, a different search page, um, Christopher, Indiana University. Indiana University is in America, by the way. So you search for him. So this takes you directly to his page, right? I don't know. Wait, seems their website is having, the IU web server is unable to deliver the page you requested. Sorry, I'm on campus. I'm using my university website, my university Wi-Fi. So sometimes they block things. I don't know why. Yeah, but I think you may be able to open it. But this take you to the department of this guy. That's the professor we are talking about, and you are able to read about the program in the university, and you can use that technique to still build your application tracking system. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes.
Promise, you say you can't hear me. I believe, I don't know. I believe everyone could hear me all the while. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so that is what I have on this. So the next thing I would really just brush on in the next 5 minutes, I think we have the next speaker on waiting to, yeah. So the next thing I'll really quickly just brush on is like building your CV. So your CV is not something you do haphazardly. It's not something you do like one size fit all, right? So your CV is your marketing document. Keep it simple, okay? It doesn't, there should be like a lot of white spaces. I'll be showing you an example of mine. Font size should be about 10 to 12 Times New Roman. Avoid time gaps, right? So by time gap, by avoiding time gap, I mean that you graduated 2015. What have you been doing between 2015 and 2025? 10 years. It's a lot of time. You can't just say you are doing nothing. You have been doing something, right? So if you actually did NYC, let's say 2017, what did you do in NYC? You were a teaching assistant. Most people teach in secondary school. Put that you were a teaching assistant in a secondary school. You were teaching, you were mentoring students, you were inspiring students, you were helping students to become better academically. So you should sell yourself, right? So between 2017 and 20, what were you doing? Maybe you didn't have a job, you have a business of your own. Give your business a name, right? Joshua Joshua Food, if you had a restaurant, right? Give it a name. Team lead, right? What have you been doing in that business? So everything, you just need to be able to sell yourself, and you need to be able to tell your story. So if you have any research experience, if you did a final year project, you have research experience. Don't say you don't have any experience. In your final year project, you did something, you worked under a supervisor. That was a research assistant role. So right, give it a name. So I advise that you keep your CV maximum of 2 to 3 pages. This is the sample of mine that I was talking about. So I'm going to go show you guys. Yeah, here. All right, so I have my CV open, right? So this is it. So what is your summary? Summary of your CV is what like gives you of your, what's it called? I think they called this headline or something. So, but give a summary about your research interests, what you are interested in, what you want to do, and all that, what you are looking for, your goal, like as an individual. Give a summary of that. So, the next thing you are looking for an opportunity in education. So, give a background of your education. Give that background. Then the next thing, talk about your experience, right? So yeah, I'm going to share this sample shortly after the event, so you can also have access to that. Talk about your experience, right? So like at University of Jos, nobody gave me a research assistant or a teaching assistant, but I was doing research, right? So I conducted research in natural product screening, extraction. So describe your role, describe what you did. I was teaching, I taught like tutorials, even I even taught some of my colleagues, right? The organic synthesis classes. So describe what you were doing. So I administered the department. They were using us to mark student script, student exam, even though they were not paying us, but that was something that I was doing. So you have to describe it there. So other opportunities, other places that you have worked and all that. So describe your work experience. Don't leave, like there should be no gap in years. So everything should follow suit. Have you volunteered before? What award have you won, right? So you should list your award. So do you have any publication? You should list your publications. Is there any professional certification that you have? It's okay to list your professional certification. And what key skills make you stand out. It's also okay to do that. Yeah, so that is it. And without taking much time, I know we'll have questions. We'll be able to take questions at the end. So I'll just conclude by saying that graduate school applications isn't a walk by the park. It requires, or a walk in the park, with whatever English is correct. It requires strategic, deliberate, and intentional efforts. You can't do too much applications. Focus on making each application strong enough to get you a yes. If you get a no, don't be discouraged. Learn from it and try again. Keep hitting at those doors of admission, and hopefully, I can't wait to see you in America soon. Okay, thank you guys so much.